Hello, this is the Talking Cafe from the Rectory Kitchen in Langport with Jess and my charming assistant Eleanor, who is already making a crumble. I don't know if anybody's with us or not, I have to say, but she's already making a crumble, which is a very, very cheap and good thing to make because we're talking, of course, about cooking on a budget, which is what we do in this house all the time. So in this bowl, she has got, show us, just a little bit of plain flour. We didn't actually weigh it out, it's just the amount that we need. Some margarine. Hello, somebody's with us. We're trying to make a crumble. We've never done this before, so we hope this is all right. So we've made a crumble before, we've just never done a live video stream before from the kitchen. So we're making a crumble, but also the whole point was when I went to the freezer, I just found some apples that I'd cut up. Now these were left over, they didn't get eaten at the time, and there were a couple that were actually getting a bit rotten. So never chuck anything away. These are great. We just kept these little things, and I just cut up those apples and froze them. So then also, oh hello, we're being joined by people. Oh, you've never made a crumble. Did you watch what was it? Britain's Got Talent. Everybody likes to make crumble. We're doing apple and apricot because this is the important thing. Apricots were reduced to 19p in Tesco's. So always look for the reduced stuff. And the other apple, sorry if I'm repeating myself, the other thing we've got is apples that were going bad that I just cut up and put in the freezer. So always your little takeaway boxes, your friendly, you just keep it was just a little amount of apple and 6 apricots, and I reckon we've got enough for a crumble. I did start early, it is one that we prepared earlier. So all I did was put that in a pan on the heat. So everything we try and do is just doesn't take long to cook it at all. So they've just gone soft. The apple and the apricot, which you can't see at all. So shall I show you? They're just cooked until they're soft. Nice bit of juice into a dish, which you can't see, but honestly, I'm not just dropping this on the floor. Oh, got to concentrate. Actually, that apricot makes the juice really nice. Just put the... So here we have a lovely dish of freshly cooked fruit. And on top of that, my charming assistant just put the crumble on top. So that was just plain flour, didn't even weigh it out, just about the right amount. About a quarter of just margarine, ordinary cheapo, whatever soft marge you've got, and some sugar. We've used granulated because it's the cheapest. And I picked up a broken bag in Tesco's, which was going for next to nothing. But you can use demerara, you can use anything, you can use light, soft, dark brown sugar or anything. And that will be most delicious. If you want to sort of bulk it up a bit more, if you like oats and things, you can put oats on as well. Okay. So, here it goes. And it's going to go in the oven at about 180 in the middle of the oven. I'm not very good at timings, so it's going in there until it's done, but it should be about 20 minutes or so, and you'll have a most delicious pudding. I think 5 or 6 of us would have plenty from that. The apples cost nothing really because they would have got thrown away otherwise. The apricots cost 19p because they were reduced. And I think the crumble topping would cost about 25 pence if you actually work that out at the most. So not bad at all. And if we stay on long enough and you stay with us, you can watch us eat that. And like all the good chefs, we'll say how delicious it is, and you'll never know. But I'm sure it is. We also thought we'd make some soup. So I've got some chopped onion. Always have onions. Have a good store cupboard. So this is basically leftover cooking. So a little glug of oil. So make sure you've got oil, olive oil, whatever you like. When I'm in diet mode, I use the little fry lights. They work really well as well. But I'm not in diet mode at the moment for lockdown. Throw into a hot pan. Just some onions. I hope you're getting the sizzling sound. So we're making smoked bacon and lentil soup because actually there was a packet of bacon left in the fridge with three rashers that hadn't got used. So it looked like it was about to be past its best. So just make the use of it. Get out the scissors and just cut that into smallish pieces. Well, they're quite big. And it goes in the pan there as well. Just cut them up and let it fry with the onion. We also had, you probably got this in your fridge or the cupboard somewhere, some celery that looked slightly past its best, but not impossible to use. So I just chopped that up really small. And I always think when we're doing things on a budget, it's good if you don't have to cook it for very long, to be quite honest. So the smaller you chop everything, we take a little bit more time at the beginning to chop everything, then it's much better. So there's a bit of finely chopped celery going in there as well. Can you chop up the rest of it as well together?
Oh, this bit?
Yeah. I'll interfere now and just cook that down. Actually, this would be quite a nice sort of lazy Saturday lunch for us lot. A bowl of soup, and then a little bit later, some apple and apricot crumble in the afternoon as well. So that's going in there. Good store cupboard is really important. Always have some stock cubes. So it's actually getting that stuff in, I think, isn't it? When you want to cook on a budget, it's just getting that stuff in so that you can actually do that. So I am actually going to put the chicken stock cube in there because it's close enough, and it will just give it a bit more flavour. So a couple of chicken stock cubes. Red lentils, really easy. A lot of the dried pulses, if you have them dry, you have to soak them overnight before, but red lentils, you don't. And I was going to say they're as cheap as chips, but they're actually cheaper than chips. So they're going to go in as well. A good dollop. Just keep mixing that up. And I boiled the kettle because hot water is going to cook faster. Just top that up so that everything's covered, the bacon's covered, the onion's covered. Keep it on the heat. And just give it the occasional stir while it cooks. Just let it simmer. The lentils will just go soft and start to make, that'll be a lovely thick soup that I reckon would serve just from those small amounts, 3 or 4 people. If you wanted to make it go further, add another stock cube and some more water. If you're not used to cooking with lentils, like when I started, I used to put too many in, just keep adding water. and it will make it really lovely. So that's just going to sit there and cook. Are we doing okay here? No response. Are we doing okay? I don't know. So that's just going to sit there. Also, on my bargain shopping, which I always do, there's just a little roll, which looks like a little roll, but Eleanor is going to marvellously turn that into 2 little pizzas. So the reason we're here this calm is because Mary, who is
18 months.
Mary's 18 months, Eleanor's little Mary, is having her sleep. And Isla is actually enjoying a little bit of Frozen 2 right now. We did think we should have had her here because she might have been better at this than us. She's the best one in the house for making crumble. So the soup's still bubbling away. In your store cupboard, you will always have the tomato sauce thing. I'm actually slightly convinced that these now have got so much better that they're cheaper than buying tins of tomatoes and doing everything else as well. So, oh, no, go for it. I was going to pour it on. These are great as well. These are Lidl and they're roasted peppers. There's a massive jar, but they are fine if you keep them in the fridge. And they've just got a lovely, lovely flavour. So I'm just going to cut a few strips for one of those. They look all soggy and lovely. So just a few strips of red pepper on there. I have got a tin of open sweet corn because there's nearly always a tin of open sweet corn, isn't there? Or something that they hadn't quite finished off. Oh, we're spoonless. And you can really put anything you like on there. So there's also some ham, and it only needs a tiny little bit of ham. A slice of ham, maybe not even a slice of ham on there. Back in the fridge. That'll do sandwiches as well. And some cheese on top. Compulsory. I get to do the good bits. Actually, this was reduced as well, and it's because I don't normally buy grated cheese because that's an expensive way to buy it. But this is mozzarella and cheddar, and the mozzarella, which would be expensive on its own, just makes it melt really nicely. So are they going to go in the oven? Very good. The soup is just bubbling away there. I don't know if anybody wants to see it more. Can you chop another onion?
Yeah.
I'm just going to make a little turkey curry as well, because I think we all like different things, and yet again it was reduced. I think one of the things that really help with budget stuff is if when you go shopping, don't be afraid to look at the reduced stuff and just see what you can do with it. And if you've got a good store cupboard, so we're going to use chickpeas and lentils and herbs and all kinds of things. It's amazing how much you can actually make. And again, we just do this. It's much cheaper, I find, thinking about electricity wise, because it isn't just the food that we use, to use a mince rather than chunks of meat as well, because they cook that bit quicker. And also, well, we've always got little children about with us. Anything that's quicker is just easier for them as well. So that's just going to be a basic of some chopped up onions, like this, some garlic that we chopped up earlier, ready to go in there. I think we need pepper in that as well. And I have to say, unashamedly, all of these are reduced. I do kind of haunt people as I go around the supermarket and look down at all the reduced stuff. But actually, just buying a loose pepper or something is really good. And it's good, isn't it, to get fresh stuff into ourselves and into children. It's good. And again, go quite small with that, because it's not going to take so long to cook then. There's a little bit more celery to go in there. And I would say this would do as a veggie curry as well. We were going to do it with turkey mince, but actually it's perfectly good as a veggie curry. And you just add to it pulses and beans, chickpeas, green lentils out of a tin if you've got them in that store cupboard, and it just does bulk up and make a really nice meal. Some quite grim looking carrots, but once they're peeled they're absolutely fine. So I think Eleanor is the eldest of our 5 children, so I've grown used to cooking on a budget across the years, and I just learned not to be so fussy about things and to look for things that were apparently perfect, because they're not necessarily. And just again chop the carrot really small in. If you've got parsnip, sweet potatoes, absolutely marvellous. But I was too mean to buy any because there weren't any reduced and none came my way. So it's just a matter of keep adding those things in. I'm just going to do another carrot. So I'm probably not doing anything that you've never done before, which will be very encouraging for you. And if you want to put up comments about how we could improve it, or ideas that you've got on how we could make it cheaper, please do. So that's all just going in, and this turkey mince was, I'll give that to you actually, hugely reduced, as always. And sometimes if I can if I've got the money at the time, I'll actually buy stuff that's reduced and freeze it on purpose, because that extra bonus of having something put back. I know I've got a tin of sliced mushrooms. I'm going to put those in, because they've actually been sat on the shelf for ages and I didn't know what to do with them. I know at the beginning of lockdown, loads of people said to me, "Oh, I've never used up all the stuff in my store cupboard like this before. I've always, I just go out and buy stuff." And this has really made me think about how I can use what I've already got in. So actually I'm going to use the rest of that little red pepper that went in. So for £2, there is already there a pan full of stuff. It's going to make the most amazing curry, if I remember. And I should have put this stuff in earlier, but it's the excitement of live streaming. So the wax and cumin in there. I just happened to have these, and then they last a very, very long time. But actually, just a standard curry powder is fine. So turmeric, cumin, and coriander. And really, that's up to you how much you want to put in, depending on what flavours you like. Have you put salt in there?
I have.
And she's already seasoned it. Just some salt and pepper. The soup is just, if you saw the lentils as they went in, they're a little hard and orange. Now this is all soft. We've nearly got a soup. I am going to add a little bit more liquid to that because it's a bit thick.
Just adding the garlic in there.
It does actually smell really lovely here. You don't get smell on live streaming, do you? But it does smell very lovely. So actually that soup, I haven't actually timed how long that's taken, but because I've just had it on a really high heat, you could actually blitz that and serve it now. Obviously, you need to just sort of season it and taste it. I always watch out if there's bacon in it before I put any salt in, because of course it might get really, really strong. And turkey mince takes no time at all, really, to cook. But I was going to add in there for some extra protein, and this would do a couple of days easily. So you can actually make this and freeze it and use it more than once. Some chickpeas in there. And the grandchildren like it when I put red lentils in that as well, because it makes it all really smooth when it's finished. If you like a tomatoey based curry, then just a tin of tomatoes goes in there really nicely as well. Do you think we need a stock cube?
Yeah, probably.
So just add a stock cube as well. And there's a really nice curry coming on there. The crumble's doing nicely. I have to say, because we've got the oven, except we've only got one oven here, the temperature is right for the crumble. It could do with being a little bit hotter for the mini pizza, because you put that in at about 200 degrees normally. So I've just put the grill on as well to do that. But that curry, these I discovered in Tesco's. I think they're 14 pence a packet. These instant noodles. So you could do it with rice, all kinds of things that I've discovered. And the thing with that is there's just some hot water to go with it. There's nearly always stir-fry veg reduced. I love the old reduced labels. It's Tesco, because we've got a Tesco in Langport, wherever you've got. There's always that kind of stuff. Just stir-frying that and some of those. If that's 25p and that's 28p, you could feed everyone pretty well, or begin to feed everyone pretty well, a whole meal for under £1. I'm going to see if we can get another thing going here as well. Because that just needs to sit over there and, oh God, Oh, that does. That smells lush. That's really nice. Just get another frying pan. We try and on this.
You can try, yeah.
It's like a Spanish, just like a Spanish omelette. So just to make eggs go a little bit further, we all love eggs. And it's going to be the same basic things again. So just heating up the pan. I'll tell you what, actually, Isla, who's watching a film now, found a program, a children's program on iPlayer. I found her the other day. What's it called?
My World Kitchen.
My World Kitchen. And it's got some amazing recipes. She's only 5. And by the time we got home, she'd watched the whole thing sort of back to back. Lots of learning about places around the world. My husband and I were off doing something else. And we got back, and on the way back, he kept saying, "Oh, I'd love some tomato soup," not knowing that Isla would have made, basically on her own, with keeping safe with Mum, tomato soup from tin tomatoes
And some of those
tin tomatoes and roast peppers, and she'd also made her own little cheese biscuits, which were they just flour and water?
Flour, water, a little bit of marsh, just a tiny bit, and cheese.
Yeah. So there is potential, actually. If you watch My World Kitchen, we got some great recipes, and they made some rotis, which were just plain flour and water. You don't measure it out, you just do it by hand, work it into a dough, season it, and roll it out, and fill it with veg and things that you've got, and maybe a little bit of cheese in there as well. That was amazing too. So there are so many things that you can just do on the basics of flour, water, all kinds of things that we have about that make things much cheaper. And here is the fruit crumble. Would you like a bit? The fruit crumble smells and looks delicious. It's too hot to try it right now. But again, what have we been on air? How long's that? 25 minutes. So all in all, because I cooked those for about 5 minutes before, in half an hour, because I do think you don't always want to be having to heat things up. So that'll do nicely for lunch. I wish I could invite you round and you could actually try it. The soup just needs blending. That is lovely. Lovely smoky bacon, really meaty. I probably won't blend it because it will sound dreadful on here. So just frying the pepper a little bit and some onions. So this is the tail end of a pepper. Some mushrooms that look a bit sad really, but they're fine. So it's just seeing how to use things up before it's done. And like I say, we've done oil because it goes a little bit quicker, but we use that fry light stuff as well if you're not wanting to have things too oily. So they just fry off. There's some mushroom and some pepper and some cold potato that was left over, because we always end up with those cold potatoes or bits of carrot or a little bit of sweet corn. I think I've got some green beans that are sat in the back of the fridge as well. I was pretty sure everybody would know how to make a bolognese sauce, so we didn't actually do that. And actually, I think sometimes to make a really good bolognese sauce, you need to cook it for ages and ages, which sometimes isn't as good. And I reckon that's where those jars are so excellent, because you can't really beat them. The flavour of them is brilliant.
What's that?
It's still there.
Did it work?
Oh, no comments.
Oh yeah, you've got to go down.
Oh. I'm sorry. You're doing marvellously here. Who is typing that? It's Bill. Oh, how long do the pizzas cook for? I don't know. I'll just look. I think I probably just forgot. How long do the pizzas cook for? Comedy moment, not quite as long as that. Comedy moment, because I've never used that and I didn't know that the comments, I didn't know if anybody was there. So I've actually forgotten. But if I'd taken those out about 5 minutes ago, they would have been perfect. I don't know if you fancy one of those at all. Sorry about that. I'm only here to make everybody else feel better. You'll know, you'll know how to do it better than me. But actually, not too bad, probably. No, actually, really quite nice. Look at that. Oh, can you smell it? Lovely. Absolutely lovely, if a little bit burnt. Thank you for asking how long they cook for. Otherwise, how long do they char for? So we just fried up those vegetables. And did you do 1 or 2 eggs?
I did 2 eggs.
Just 2 eggs. Can I put it in?
Yeah.
Oh, you're putting cheese.
I was going to put cheese.
Oh, I say a little bit of cheese as well. So that will just all settle in there. Eleanor said, no, don't make me do an omelette. Don't make me do an omelette because I can never turn them. I can never turn them. Oh, marvelous. Oh, I'm looking for something that I can't find. I think sometimes actually having a packet of microwave rice, especially when they're on offer, it's just as easy. I was going to serve the rice on some microwave rice so you can see it, but I can't actually find where I put the packet of rice. It's so exciting here. I'm going to serve a bit of crumble and show you that. Oh my goodness. If I say so myself, that does just smell amazing with that little bit of apricot in there. And that is not a recipe I've done before. It's just basically because that's what there was. And I think sometimes that's you can come over and we can social distance and you can have a bit. And good. Oh no, there's somebody at the door now. I've just got to go and answer the door. I think really that's us done, because we've made lots of things. Unless there's anything that anybody wants to ask or tell or share themselves. Is that all right, Hannah? Do you want custard with your crumble? Because you can get some really good tins of, packets of crumbles. Well, actually, we won't go because Eleanor's just attempting to turn over this omelette.
Another comedy moment.
This should be another comedy moment. No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So that has just become scrambled egg with vegetables. But I think it is the pressure. It's the pressure of us being here. But using up those leftovers in delicious ways. This curry is pretty much curried. If you can just leave it there and sit there, it gets nicer. Like I said, lentils will just thicken it up. Can you bear it if I make a load of noise and blitz the soup up? Where's the blender?
Down there. Okay.
If you can bear it, we'll blitz the soup up for a laugh. And you can see how lovely and smooth it is. And if you go on that My World Kitchen, I reckon if you made those rotis or the little cheese biscuits that a little girl makes on there, she's fine. She the one I saw, she presented the programme on her own. She was absolutely amazing and far more organised than us, it turns out. So actually, this can go in the blender while it's hot. So it all just goes in there. This is actually great sort of wintry stuff. The smoked bacon smells amazing. And as you can see, there's going to feed a good number of people. That and a roll is a great lunch. Now, the lid will probably fall off or fly off or something. Oh, hello, it's not working. So we have a very messy kitchen. I don't know if you saw the little bits of spray that headed across the kitchen there. That's a massive bowl of soup, but a really, really nice bowl of thick soup in next to no time. It's absolutely delicious. It's one of my favourites, that is. I'm very glad that when I went to the fridge this morning, there was smoked bacon in there. I'm going to try that. Oh gosh, that is so nice. That is, that's really, really creamy with the lentils and just a gentle sort of smoky bacon flavour. That's lovely. And it surprised me actually how little time it took. I didn't realise myself quite how quick those things are. Curry would be ready to serve as well. Can you see that? Should I put that on a plate? And we've nearly got the scrambled omelette. Probably need one more egg to make it sit together. So you see if you can serve that, and somebody put on one of the comments they can make chili jam. You need to share with us how to make mango chutney or something, or chili jam to go with that, and you can spice it up or thicken it up with some corn flour, put some lentils in, whatever you like. It may be that you've just got a jar of curry sauce that you want to add to it as well, but I'm rubbish at getting it so you can actually see it, sorry. It is really delicious and cooks so much faster. I'm actually going to put that back in there because I'm not going to eat that as well with the soup. And our final, a sort of Spanish omelette, but really delicious, nutritious, and it used up the green beans and the end of the pepper and the 5 mushrooms that would have made their way inside the hens otherwise. So there we are. I think we're probably done, unless there's anything else you want us to do. Excellent. Oh, yeah, no, we should brown the top of the omelette under the grill. We should have done that. Very, very good. Thank you so much. So who's doing the next one? Because we want to come and watch. Thank you very much. I think we're going to go and sit down in a dark place now and have a rest. God bless you. Keep a good store cupboard and cook cheap and eat well. God bless. Bye-bye.